being convenient to the patient. That means that the patient should be able to access the services at the closest point to his house, her house, or his place or her place of convenience. High quality TV services. So that's something which you have been listening for last 1 hour. Why quality is important? You need to understand that TB, if treated inadequately or incompletely, can result into drug-resistant TB. And drug-resistant TB, as one of the slides of Dr. Imran Pambudi showed, that once a patient is drug-sensitive TB, you can spend $220 on treatment and get the patient treated. But once the patient becomes rifampicin resistant, it is almost 35 times to 40 times of what we spend on drug-sensitive TB. So it's important that the quality of TB services is the highest. It is of no point that we reach up to the patient are not being able to provide and are not being able to provide high quality TB services. The second pillar is improving the private providers' diagnostic quality and treatment outcomes for TB patients seeking care in the private sector. So again, improving the diagnostic quality. What I understand from the 2019 Global TB report is that only 50% of the TB patients in Indonesia are bacteriologically diagnosed. That means half of the patients we don't know whether they are really suffering from TB or not, number one. Number two, whether they are suffering from drug-resistant TB or drug-sensitive TB. And I would like to say one more thing, that it is important to know whether the patient has taken treatment previously or not, because the patient who has not taken treatment previously, 3 out of 100 may be drug resistant. But if a patient has taken treatment previously, and it can be a successful treatment also, I am not saying that the patient has taken treatment and defaulted and not completed the treatment. Even if the previous episode of the treatment was a successful treatment, the patient may turn out to be a drug resistant TB, and the chances increase almost 6 times. So when I'm saying that it can be 2 to 3% in new patients, it can be almost up to 30% in the previously treated patients. So it's important that we diagnose TB correctly, and we also provide the treatment support and monitoring to the patient. The third objective is about increasing the contribution of private healthcare providers case notification to national TB case detection rates. So basically, there was a slide which was presented, and I will also allude on that slide in more detail, that almost 74% of the patients are going to private sector, and 52% of those patients who are going to private sector for their initial care seeking are going to pharmacists. So it is important that the pharmacists notify the TB cases. It is important that the pharmacists identify the TB cases, and it is important that the first point of contact also guides the TB patients in the right direction, so that the patient can get the services as well as the treatment and treatment support at the earliest and of the best quality. And the fourth objective is enhanced systemic and effective implementation of district public-private mix through adoption of proven models of private provider engagement operating at scale. This is another important thing, and we have you people know it much better that previously also there have been private sector engagement activities under the USAID Challenge TB project, and even there have been multiple initiatives from the NTP to engage the private sector. Dr. Imran Pambudi also showed a slide which talks about only 349 private hospitals reporting, and we see that there is a huge gap in the hospitals reporting. And when we talk about hospitals reporting, the pharmacists have a huge role to play in notification and services for TB patients. What exactly do we plan to do with pharmacists, and what have we done with the pharmacists in last 1.5 year? The next slide, please. Just complete the slide, please. The healthcare facilities which are being visited by patients when being symptomatic. This is what I talked about, that almost 52% are being catered by the pharmacists at the first point of contact. It is also important to understand that only 24% go to the government sector as the first point of care. This is a patient pathway analysis which was conducted in year 2017. Dr. Imran talked about this slide, and I will just elaborate upon what specifically the pharmacist's role or the expectations from pharmacists are. When we are saying, number one, as serving anti-TB prescriptions from health facilities in the TB control program, and do not serve anti-TB medicines without a prescription. It is very important because self-medication is something which is quite common in our subcontinent and in Indonesia also. And most of the times patients don't understand that they may be suffering from a different type of disease. They just, from their past experience, they know the name of the drug and they would like to have the drug. They think that I suffered from the same type of symptoms last time, and maybe this time also I can get relief from the same type of treatment. So it's important that the anti-TB drugs are not dispensed without the doctor's prescription. Then the second point is help provide information about anti-TB treatment to the patients. Again, it's very important. Now with fixed dose combinations, the fixed dose combinations which have arrived, you run a lesser risk that the patient may take one medicine and may not take the other one. Why do we say that the loose medicines should not be used? It is very common that the patient may associate some type of a drug reaction, an adverse drug reaction, with a particular drug and say that, okay, if I take this tablet, I suffer from this issue. That's why I won't take this tablet and I'll take the other 3 tablets or other 4 tablets. And this defeats the purpose because we are treating TB with a multi-drug therapy. It is not a single drug therapy. And if we end up avoiding 1 or 2 drugs, it may become a monotherapy, which is a recipe for drug-resistant TB. So it is important that the patient knows how to take medicine, when to take medicine, what to avoid while taking medicine, and about the common side effects, so that the patient does not think that I am the only one who is suffering from these issues. So it's important to provide information about the anti-TB treatment to the patient. Then monitoring TB patient in taking medicine at the pharmacy. So again, monitoring over the past 1 decade has evolved a lot. Previously, it was like we were monitoring patient having treatment. It's so that we say that we support the patient to take medicine. So whatever is required for the patient to take medicine, we should enable that the patient is at the pharmacies. When you say take medicines at the pharmacies, we are also looking at pharmacies being the dispensing points for government medicine, which is freely available and is of good quality. Conduct initial screening for people with TB symptoms. It's such an important and an easy thing. We also need to understand that in Indonesia, it's almost 850,000 TB patients which occur every year, and 850,000 in a 250 million population. It's not less. We should be suspecting TB, and whenever we see a symptom of TB, don't think that it can be something other than TB. First, try to rule out that it's TB. First, think that it's TB, and then see that the patient gets services so that we can rule out that it's TB, and then we can think about something else. So it's important that the initial screening at the first point of contact is done by the pharmacist, and pharmacists recognize TB as a major public health problem and support the TB patient to get diagnosed properly for TB. Then coordinating and collaborating with health facilities. These words seem like jargon, that we are talking about coordinating and collaborating. What is important is that there is a channel between the health facilities and the pharmacies through which the services and the patients can walk. There means when I say a channel, I'm talking about a health facility where a pharmacist can refer a TB patient, suspected TB patient, with confidence that the patient will get services. A pharmacy where a patient can come with confidence that if I go to that pharmacy, I will get TB medicine. So this confidence will not come only through an MOU. There has to be an action after MOU that